Now, the UK Labor government has broken an election promise, by announcing a $52 billion increase in taxes. Chancellor Rachel Reeves says that ordinary people will have to pay a little bit more. Let's take a listen.
I recognise that we are asking people to contribute more by freezing those allowances. They were already frozen by the previous government from 2021 to 2028, and we're freezing them for a further 3 years. And I do recognise that is asking ordinary people to pay a little bit more.
Mia, how much political damage does this do?
This is a disastrous budget. I think this is going to be a huge hit to Reeves and Starmer. I mean, someone in the Telegraph posted a fantastic article today and called it a socialist budget, and that's what it is. This budget is a full-on grip on socialism. It is completely and utterly disastrous, particularly for the middle class and mainstream Britons. I mean, it's a very old-fashioned budget. It's basically tax higher and spend more, and that spending will go to more handouts, more welfare. It might help those people on the fringes, but it will do absolutely nothing to raise the living standards of those in Britain. I think they're pretty tired of it. This budget is killing aspiration. It is basically the end of the great dream in Britain of owning your own home or climbing up the property ladder with all the different taxes that are going to be imposed. And I think looking in this context, looking at the state of the economy, of the state of out of control migration, the state of crime, it is no wonder that Britons are leaving the UK in droves. They are fleeing. Investment in Britain is fleeing. And jobs and opportunities are all going offshore. And it's no shock when a budget like this is handed down why there are so many people who are just they've lost all enchantment with the UK.
And it's so sad, it really is. Well, there are reports that Sir Keir Starmer, UK's Prime Minister, he's planning to exit by Christmas amid claims he's handing out CVs during international trips as he considers life after Westminster. Now, as you kind of touched on, it's just UK, it's a disaster over there. There's illegal migrants continuing to arrive unchecked, growth is flatlined, inflation has remained stubbornly high, and unemployment is starting to rise. Mia, what do you make of these reports, though, that Starmer could be gone by Christmas?
These reports don't shock me at all. Starmer hasn't been performing well for a very, very long time. Basically, from the day he was elected, the polls continuously went down, and I've mentioned it before, but look, Starmer wasn't elected because there was any great support for him. He wasn't an inspiring leader. Voting for Starmer was just basically a vote to kick out the Tories, but it wasn't because people wanted Starmer. But I do think people are shocked at just how poorly Starmer has continued to perform, and I think it was the Labor MPs themselves who said that this budget will either make or break Starmer. Well, I think it's pretty clear that this will break Starmer. There's no coming back from this. I do think that he will try and kibosh Reeves first, and he'll try and hide behind her, put all the blame on her and try and hang on a little bit longer, but I don't think it will work because what this budget shows is that he doesn't get it. He does not understand how broken Britain is. You're legislating a couple of handouts here and there in this budget. You have no idea how much Britain is struggling under these disastrous policies. And I think people in the UK, they're looking for an aspiring leader, someone who stands by them. And you have a leader who just completely doesn't get it. His values and his principles do not align with the UK. He's more focused on all the globalist issues that are happening around the world. He doesn't stand with Britain. And that's why Britain doesn't stand with him. So if he's handing out his CVs, he's going to have to look overseas because he seems far more interested in all the issues such as climate change and hanging out at the COP summit. So maybe he needs to seek a job there just like Chris Bowen.
You're spot on. You're exactly right. And as you kind of mentioned, people in the UK are looking for an inspiring leader, someone who actually stands with them. And we're seeing Reform UK leader Nigel Farage, riding high in the polls. A new survey of Conservative Party members found 54% believe that Nigel Farage could become Prime Minister by 2028 or 2029. What's your assessment of this?
Again, this poll doesn't surprise me. I think he will become Prime Minister. I think he's got what it takes. The only problem here is that there is a long way for Farage to go. So he needs to ride this momentum for as long as he can. But as much as he needs to ride the momentum of rage, he also needs to ride the momentum of discipline. And I think that's a far harder thing to do, because whilst he has shown that he has great capacity to lead the country, he also needs to show that he has great capacity to lead his party. And I think that's currently where a bit of struggle is coming through. I mean, many of the established parties, they have very elaborate administrative wings, and he just doesn't have that. And at the end of the day, he's going to have to run good candidates in 500 seats, and I'm not sure at the moment he's showing that he's up to that task. I'm not saying he can't do it, but that will be the next challenge. But certainly I think what Farage has shown, and he is a real example for centre-right parties all across the Western world, that if you take on the culture wars, you will win. I mean, especially here in Australia, we've had the centre-right parties running away from the culture wars because the left for so long has told them that if they dare go near it, they'll lose. Well, it's no wonder the left has tried to tell them to stay away, because even the left understands that the right will always win the culture wars. So I applaud Farage for how much he has stood up in these battles. He is streaming ahead in the polls, and I just hope he can maintain that discipline if he wants to be Prime Minister at the next election.
Finally, staying in the UK, a Labor-run council in Brighton has cancelled an art exhibition featuring union flags, claiming that the flags could offend, scare, or even put visitors and their belongings at risk. Now, the artist calls this outright censorship. His work was designed to celebrate diversity, yet the council scrapped the show over fears the union flag itself might be taken out of context. Mia, can I get your reaction to this?
Well, just to my point before, this just shows if you fight the culture wars, you can win. But in this situation, I don't think there needs to be much fight. The left, cancel culture, they will always end up eating themselves. I mean, this example is just really outrageous. Like, we need some clarification. What exactly here is it that's offensive? Is it the display of different multicultures on the flag, or is it the flag that's displaying the Union Jack itself? I think it's pretty clear that this council is offended by the Union Jack because a lot of these councils for a long time, they don't like their country, they're not proud to be in the UK, and that's been made pretty clear. But then you just ask the question, what are you still doing here? If you don't like your own country's flag, what are you doing sitting in the country taking taxpayer funds being floated by the different taxpayers who love their country? They're happy to take all those perks, but then they're the first ones to sit there and criticise and are too offended to even display a flag that doesn't even look like the national flag.
Mia Schlicht, Research Fellow at the IPA, thank you so much for joining us. Great to talk to you.
Thanks for having me.